Hi, Jessica.
Hi, Edwin.
Hello. Adam, did you have a sense of um how many people we're expecting? I haven't taken a look. Maybe we can just get started then with whatever questions you want to ask, Jessica.
Great. I didn't know I'd have the whole floor. Okay. Uh, the first one I had was regarding the REO schedules. Um, some of the applicants we have are for limited partnerships, they're special purpose. They only have the proposed project in their portfolio. You want the REO schedule just for that LP, or are we expecting the REO schedule for also the general partners?
It's we're not in we're generally not interested in the special purpose entities beyond like how it's structured. When we are asking about experience, when we are asking about portfolios, just across the entire NOFA regs, we are almost always talking about the general partners and any other members of the development team who have the experience and have the capacity and have the portfolios to back and provide guarantees to that special purpose entity.
Got it. Okay. I had one more about the operating assistance program. There's the 250,000 for emergency capital needs. Do we need to provide a CNA or scope of work for that? Because I only saw that for the preservation only apps, and I'm not sure whether we are going to be submitting a preservation app. But if that's required for OpEx, that's what I'm asking.
We would like to see the CNA. It's not only to support, it's not only to justify the 250K and your use of the 250K. It's also because we need a sense of what the capital needs on that project are, and if, for example, there are very serious capital needs and you're only requesting operating assistance dollars and have not provided a clear pathway of what the of how the capital improvements will be funded, that could be an issue, right? So um, while we recognize that a project that is only doing minor repairs of 250K or less may not have serious capital needs, we need that CNA to establish what those capital needs are and that you're representing them accurately on your application. I hope that makes sense.
Yeah, just because the operating expense, the threshold table says for preservation only, but I figured you might want it even if we're just doing the operating expense program alone. So, okay, that makes sense.
Yes, we want the CNA, project needs assessment, capital needs assessment. Yeah. Um, I think that might have been your only question. I saw Aaron Dominguez come in. Welcome. Um, I think we have a smaller group today, so Aaron, if you have any questions, go ahead.
Hi. Yes, great. All right. I thought I would have a little bit more time. I might have a question in like 10 minutes too. One last question, but just had a couple of clarification questions. First, I believe I read that the phase two needs to meet the 24-month period for a technical memorandum. I just wanted to confirm that just because a lot of times phase twos just exist and, are accepted even outside of a shorter term date. So I just want to, you guys are looking for a 24-month period for that.
We're we are allowing for an older phase two, right? We're saying if it's within I believe it is 24 months, maybe it's 40, but I believe it's 24 months. If it's 24 months or less, we are happy to accept that. Yeah, yes. And then if it's older than that, we will still accept it, but we require that you provide a technical conformance
Right.
memorandum from a consultant, and it can be the same consultant who did the phase two initially, that's now a little bit older, simply confirming for us that that the conditions remain the same.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Yeah.
Am I the only one? I can keep on going if there is anyone else who has any questions, but
Let's go to your next one next, and
Okay.
we'll see if the other person, Jessica, has any.
okay, great. Commitment term for the ULA award. I saw that it's strictly 1 year with a 1 year extension. Could you talk more about what would be the terms that an extension would be granted? Like, is there, yeah, what would the city be looking for in order to grant an extension?
So, I'm going to talk about our rationale for why we moved from a longer, kind of, a longer period of award term to a shorter one. So in the past, we have implemented a managed pipeline. We call it the Affordable Housing Managed Pipeline, HMP. And what that really did was we went a little bit earlier to a project's pre-development phase of its life. And we said, hey, you're a very early project, you're an early pre-development project. You don't have that much fully baked yet, but we're going to provide you a funding commitment, a very early one, and hope that that can seed your project with some capital so that you can go ahead and seek other financing sources. And then once you've gotten everything but tax credits, we say, okay, now's your time. We want you to apply to tax credits in like 1.5 years, and you'll complete your capital stack then. That was our old approach. Our new approach is we're going to give you a lot more money. We're now funding projects for 30% of your total development cost, even for your leveraged tax credit projects. And we're saying that's a lot more money than you used to get. You might be able to, with tax credit equity only and a construction/perm loan, complete your capital stack and move forward much more quickly. And so we've implemented what is effectively um, a 2 year, it's not a pipeline anymore, it's a 2 year period in which we think you should be able, if you are a competitive tax credit project, to complete your capital stack within 2 years. So obviously, if you're not able to get funded by TCAC or SIDLAC your first time, we understand that it is very competitive, and we don't want to throw out projects that went to TCAC or SIDLAC and did not get it the first time or the second time. But we think that over a 2 year period, you should have at least 3, if not 4 chances to apply to a tax credit round. And so we are happy to provide the 1 year extension. So it's 1 year. You're definitely good for 1 year post award. We would really prefer if, obviously that's ideal for you and for us, if you were able to get the tax credit equity by then. If not, we're pretty happy to provide that 1 year extension. And then beyond the 2 year period, that's a larger policy evaluation and program re-evaluation that our staff need to make about whether we've taken the right approach this time, about the availability of tax credits. I think there are a lot of factors at play, But I feel pretty comfortable saying that the 1 year extension, bringing it to 2 years is, you can, that's a pretty reliable thing, and then anything beyond 24 months, that's a little bit dicier, and we're just gonna have to make that judgment call at that time.
Got it. So is it fair to say if LAHD sees progress at year one, that the project is moving forward, they would grant an extension? Or do you think it would need to be that they would see a TCAC application happen before the 1 year to extend it?
That's a very specific question, but I will say we have a really strong preference that you will have submitted,
Got it.
tried
Okay.
to go to TCAC within a year.
All right, that's fair. No, I definitely agree that everything is kind of shaped around TCAT competitiveness and being ready to submit. So just. so you
Right,
know.
our department has really reoriented away from that pipeline model of earlier pre-development projects. Right now, we really want to fund projects that are much closer to completing their capital stack, and that really the big signal to us that you're ready to complete your capital stack is that you're seeking those tax credits.
Okay, got that. Thank you. All right, another question is, if we were to apply and there were changes to the unit mix that did not negatively impact density scoring, priority populations meeting, whatever that, like, if we were to go after those points and there was a change to the unit mix, would that be, would we be at risk for losing our funding? Or is there flexibility within a potential change in the unit mix, I guess?
We want our awarded projects to have as much flexibility as possible to complete your capital stack and be competitive for the other sources. That being said, I would urge all applicants to come to us with your most fully baked version of what your unit mix and AMI levels are going to be, because a lot of the scoring competitiveness of an application is going to be based around your AMI levels and you serving certain populations. And so major changes to those things post-award really could be, it can be a little bit abusive, right? You can come in with a very competitive application showing things that we really like, and then if you take those away post-award, that's not really representative of the competitiveness of that application.
Correct, totally fair, and that is absolutely not the intention. I think we're just trying to understand kind of, I mean, to be fair, where we are in the project and applying on this round. So I think we're just trying to figure out kind of what the parameters are. So I totally get that, and that is, again, not our intention. So thank you. And then just on the priority populations, just to confirm the way that we're reading it, like, so for instance, with 3 bedrooms, if the minimum required for like a family project, a large family project, 25% of the units would be 3 bedrooms, you are then asking for an additional 10%, so it'd be 35% of the units, or are you asking for an additional 10% of the 25% to become 3 bedrooms? Does that make sense?
So for none, yes, your question
Okay.
makes sense. I realize it's a little bit confusing in the regs. We've actually published further clarification about this in a previous set of Q&A questions, but I'm just gonna state it now. Let's use the family units, the 3-bedroom units as the example. So in none of the 7 NOFA programs is there a requirement for family units, for 3-bedroom plus units. So
Got it.
if you are providing 10 percentage points of your units as 3-bedroom units, in any of the programs that have this priority scoring, you would get the full points.
Got
Right.
it.
It's saying if you're providing 10 percentage points of your units above the minimum established for that population or that unit typology, then you will get the scoring boost. I just want to highlight another example. So in the two ULA alt models programs, there's a ULA alt models preservation and a ULA alt models new construction program. Both of those programs are providing priority points if you go 10 percentage points above the special needs typology. But in those two programs, there's a 20% floor for ELI/ALI units. So you would need to provide 10 percentage points above the 20 minimum. So 30 percentage points, 30% of the units need to be at that income, at that special needs income level, or deeply affordable level in order to qualify for the priority points on the basis of ALI, ELI units. So those two programs, you could qualify for the 3-bedroom, that 10% 3-bedroom by providing 10%. There is no minimum there. If you 10%, you provide 10% of your units as 3-bedroom, you will get the 10 points. But if you were trying to do it on those two programs for priority populations for ALI, ELI units, you would need to do the 20% minimum plus the 10 percentage points above that, so 30%.
Okay, great. Thank you. That's even a better answer than I was expecting. So I appreciate that. And then finally, I think this is just something maybe I'm not able to find regarding the ULA new construction. I'm looking for the definition of special needs, and maybe that's just something you could point me to in the guidelines.
So for the, we discuss special needs in a couple different places. Any PSH unit could count as special needs. We are trying to take a more expansive definition. But I don't think we define, I actually don't think we define it anywhere beyond PSH. So we'll make sure that we jot this one down and we can publish a clarification of that definition when we do the next set of the Q&A questions.
And those are those coming out tomorrow?
We're trying to get them out on a weekly cadence. Just to let you know, it is very difficult for us to get them out. It requires, some of the questions require a lot of deliberation with our leadership team. And so we are hoping to get a set out tomorrow. That set will not be answering any questions that have come in from this office hours.
Okay.
That's set. There's kind of a lag. So that set is mostly responding to things that have come in last week. But
Got it. Okay.
we are on a weekly cadence that we are mostly managing to hit. So I just encourage you all to read all the Q&A questions frequently and regularly. And the question that you asked that we did not get to in this office hours, you'll probably see that in about a week or so.
Okay. And then just in the meantime, should we use just, I guess, the NEPSH is kind of the more expansive definition? Is that what your guidance is, or?
Well, PSH is definitely considered special needs.
Right.
I think where I'm hesitating is how expansive beyond PSH
Got it. Okay.
our leadership wants to be about the definition of special needs. So that's something that we need to deliberate about.
Got it. Okay. Those are my questions. Thank you so much.
For sure.
Appreciate it. I'm gonna just sit on here if that's okay.
Sure.
I just had one more threshold document question. In the NOFA application supporting documents portal, for the soils report section, it gives you the option to upload soils report or affidavit. And I think in past AHMP rounds, an affidavit from the partners was sufficient, stating they could provide a soils report as a condition of award. Is that what we can submit here as well, or do we need an actual soils report?
That is a very technical one. I cannot remember what our guidance is. Sorry, if you can give me a sec, I'm just gonna look to see if we provided an answer for this one already. Give me a sec. I'm not seeing it. I think we need to get back to you on this one. Sorry about that.
That was all I had.
It's been asked. There are many questions and I cannot remember all of them. So
No, I can't imagine, but thank you. Those are all my questions.
okay. I think it was just Jessica and Aaron for today. We had a smaller group. I'm just gonna give you all another minute or so in case you think of anything else. And again, thank you for your patience as we try to answer some questions live and unfortunately do have to punt on certain details.
Well, I guess what I've been, I know you threshold documents, LAHD doesn't provide all the templates or forms. So for items like the letter of assent for the PLA, I've been referring to kind of the standard letter of assent for the building compliance division. I'm not sure if you're familiar with that template, but is there any like specific language you're looking for in the letter of assent? The Public Works Department had a pretty good one, but I don't know if there's anything specific you wanted to see for this NOFA.
I can't remember us providing any clarification on the specific elements that need to be in the letter of assent. I was actually under the impression that it was kind of pretty standard, but we can look into it. And I think what you're looking for is like sort of like what are the ingredients of a complete letter of assent.
Yeah,
So we can
I
take
have
another look and confirm.
Yeah, I had the same issue with the authorizing resolution. I have plenty of resolutions to refer to from other programs because we usually get, like a template resolution. But I know you do provide like the bullet points, the basic bullet points of what you want that resolution to say. So
Yeah, I think for the board resolution, we provided a list of certain ingredients, and we can do something similar for the letter of assent.
okay, thank you.
Okay, let's end a little bit early since we didn't have a big group and we seem to have gotten through your questions. I do want to let you both know that we have received a large volume of questions specifically asking what our methodologies would be for providing partial points for the cost effectiveness scoring criterion, the feasibility, and also the entitlement readiness criteria. So we are very close to publishing further guidance about that. So keep an eye out for those. We know that self-scoring is part of the threshold requirements documents, and you all just want to beyond being able to self-score, have a sense of your project competitiveness. So we're trying to get that out as quickly as possible too. So more clarification about feasibility, cost effectiveness, and entitlement scoring.
Great, thank you.
Great. Yeah. Thank you so much for your time. Appreciate it, everyone.
Thanks, everyone. See you all possibly next week. Bye.
Thank you.
Adam, do you need to like hit like transcribe on the AI or something while this is open, or
Yeah,
okay?
so basic, no, oh, sorry, here, I can save it. I'll save it now. There, it's saved. So basically what you do is you hit transcript. Oh, I must have to turn off the recording. There we go. Sorry, I'm having